Alright, second upcoming banner here. We've got Solaris Skyre. He is a northerner mage, and actually, I really like where they're going with him. If I were to pick and choose between what hero I wanted to pull, it would be this guy, solely because of his faction. He is a platform hero, which is actually needed in the northern comps because there's so many ground tiles in the physical spellbane matrix. So he does some really cool things, and I think it's going to make life a lot easier, especially when using Adrian as a tank. So, mage, magic, northerner. He has no wings, yet he stepped into the sky citadel of the seraphim. He sought no permission, yet the entire city would not send him away. A bizarre fusion of flesh and machine. Wherever his cards fluttered, the veil of fate is silently torn apart. He doesn't just prophesy the future, he intervenes it, rewrites it, and incorporates everything into his own grand design. Cool stuff. Alright, let's get into his details first here. He's got that 3 tile, that piercer range, so our mage range, well, piercer range really, so that is very cool also. Very cool also. It's definitely noteworthy. Hits air, anti-air there, I guess. So his base stats, now his HP is really low for a northerner, right? So hopefully his shields are gonna help him stay alive. His magic res is okay, his defense is kind of crap. His attack interval, being an AoE marksman or an AoE mage, is 3.5. Pretty standard there. Alright, so basic attack deals 100%, AoE goes up to 120% to the target and their surrounding enemies, hitting up to 5 enemies. So he does only target 5 enemies, which in Matrix isn't ideal, but hey, can't have your cake and eat it too, I guess. So we'll get into his passives. Major Arcana. When an enemy dies within the hero's basic attack range, his next attack triggers the talent Arcane Storm. Okay, so Arcane Storm, this is really important. This is really cool. It deals 200% damage to enemies in range and bounces to other enemies around them 4 times. So he's going to be hitting all those enemies in Matrix. Really cool stuff. When it ends, he grants a shield equal to 20% of their max HP to 2 allied heroes within 3 tiles of the Arcane Storm, and the shield lasts for 10 seconds. So whenever an enemy dies, the next attack triggers this. So that's really cool stuff. He's going to scale really well at the beginning, and then throughout the fight, obviously the talent or this passive is going to be mitigated a little bit. Okay, so does 200%. All right. Cooldown is 16 seconds, so it goes down to 10 seconds. So every 10 seconds he's triggering this, and an extra trigger count enemy +1. If an ally increases the above trigger count by 5. If an allied hero on the field retreats or dies, increases the above trigger count by 5. It's hard to understand. It seems to me like if you got enemies dying, this attack will just keep on scaling, keep on proccing shields. and keep on hitting. But that cooldown there, so I mean, you're probably not going to have allies dying. If you do, you got problems. But you might be able to use him for burst damage somewhere. Seems like a hero dies, he's just going to basically try to nuke everything down. But the shields on the surrounding allies is the really cool kicker there. Okay. Aegis of Fate. When dealing damage, deals extra damage equal to 20%. This is this thing I don't really like about it. Equal to 20% of the hero's shield strength when deployed. Immediately gains a shield strength of 60%, and it goes up to 80%, and up to 70% of the HP base. So, like, or maybe 100% of the hero's max HP. But he has such low HP. When he deployed, that's not really going to make a difference. So, when dealing damage, deals extra damage equal to 20% of the shield strength. So, I mean, if he's around Catagrim, or if he's, getting big shields, whatever the case might be, he's going to do a little bit extra damage. But honestly, I don't know. I don't know about that one. Okay, so the ultimate, very strange ultimate here. It's a very burst ult. All your levels reduces the cost down to 600, so that's really cool. Still somewhat high for a 2.5 second, but might be able to run this guy in Hell's Lament and get away with it quite well. So the ultimate here, divination. If the hero has no tarot cards, so these tarot cards, a tarot card in the deployment bar, so it'll probably be like kind of like Elwyn's Healing Elf or Akira's duplicate will kind of be there. So you can drag on the screen to cast a powerful skill. It deals 80% increased damage to enemies within the hero's basic attack range, and the card can switch effects. So if the hero has no tarot card, generates one tarot card. Otherwise, upgrades the tarot card, and the tarot card can be upgraded 2 times. And the tarot cards can either do physical or magic damage. So here is the Frozen Gale, lasts for 10 seconds, deals 80% magic damage to up to 10 enemies, which is cool, within 1 tile of the target per sec. So he does actually target 10 enemies. That is great stuff. I missed that the first time going over this kit. To up to enemies within 1 tile of the target per second, and inflicts 1 stack of Winter Bite for 3 seconds. Its damage increased by 80% per card level. So the more times the card's there, a card can be upgraded 2 times, right? So extra 160% damage. Okay, and a Winter's Bite. So, or it can cast Meteor Strike. Deals 80% physical damage to up to 10 enemies. Kind of the same thing, except it inflicts stun for half a second. Kind of a short stun, but it is a stun nonetheless. Can come in handy. After casting Meteor Strike, all of the hero's damage will be changed to physical damage, and vice versa. After casting Frozen Gale, everything will turn back to magic damage, as far as like your talents, your major arcana, all that stuff. So pretty cool. When it says upgraded to 2 times, it might actually be 2 more times on top of the 80%. So instead of the 80% increased damage, it might be 320. So So it is per second. That's where the damage is coming from here. It's 80% AoE physical damage up to enemies per second. and inflicts stun for 5 seconds. So it appears that we may be able to run this guy with low to no attack speed. To be determined. Let's get into his awakenings. I haven't seen his awakenings yet. His A1. For every one enemy hit by Arcade Storm, restores 2% rage to the hero. Cool, man. More and more of this rage regen is coming out, and I am liking it. It would be nice to not have to use a rage regen hero in the Matrix boss. It would be nice just to be able to use one cleanse kind of healer and maybe a Lord healer, whatever the case might be. So that's very cool. A little bit of attack on A2. A3, when Arcane Storm is triggered, the hero gains a shield equal to 50% of his attack, lasting for 8 seconds. So some more survivability. Not overly fond of the A3. Although this guy is pretty much going to be the master of shields. Going to be pretty much putting out shields every time an enemy dies, or, you know, every 10 seconds or whatever the case might be. Some penetration. A5, the ultimate will be cast 2 times consecutively. This effect can be triggered 1 time every 50 seconds. Every 50 seconds. Is that going to give us time to do 2 ults? Yeah, probably. Probably give us time to do 2 ults during the Matrix. Or just not quite. Imagine that. Anyways, his whole kit at the end of the day. Overview. Northerner. He's a mage. He's a tile unit. He's putting out great shields. He's probably going to be... perfect to run, like I say, with using Adrian as a tank in Matrix. And this guy's freeing up a ground platform unit, and he's a Northerner. So I know I can take out my Catagrim and put him in there, and I think I can get away with it now. Because I don't want to run Ireless, right? I don't want to run Ireless in my team 2, and she's the only hero that can really heal Adrian enough to where I can use him as a tank. I think this guy, placed properly, is going to mitigate that. So, cool stuff. Basically, just straight up score for the Matrix. And if I had a choice between Solaris and Janice, I'm probably going to go with Solaris. But hey, you can't get lucky all the time. Probably got a few Divines left. I'll try a couple Divines, and we'll go from there. That's it. That's all. All right. There it is. Solaris. As always, appreciate your time. Hope it helps.